All right, we got the thing set up, but I'm gonna split a couple more things before we actually start pulling. I did find a brand new coupler. So this thing has its own setup now, and I put this here just so it doesn't fall off the table. So we're good on that. Now we're gonna come over here and do some plasma cutting real quick. We wanna get this, we wanna get all the copper we can out of here. Hopefully copper's still up at a decent price. Good how this thing, I think this thing just pops right out. Okay. We're in little nuggets. Woo, that's hot. Yeah, these gloves, they're good for a lot of things, man, but not touching hot stuff. I gotta go get a driver for that, so we'll just throw that on the table. Now I forget where where to cut these. Let's just cut the top off first and see what happens. I don't do enough of these to remember. I gotta start getting more of these in. Wow. Just want to freehand this. That's actually like really thick. We're not getting a good ground on this thing. What the heck, man? All right, we got 4 things to try to split before we change this over to pulling mode. Hopefully we can get that. I'm not sure. We're going to try that one last because I'm not too sure about this. Now this other one, this one here, would have been a good candidate for cutting it. I don't know how well we're going to be able to split that, but we're going to give it a try. Being that that's square, it might work out pretty good. I don't know. And being that we don't have a lot of height, let's try that one first. I'm actually going to just push these together to start this. There's a nice seam there, I can see. Wow. It did it. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, let's try this transformer. Wow, that is nice. Okay, I kind of have my doubts about this thing. So close. I think if I just, there we go. Yeah, once it hits that other side, man, that's some tough stuff. Wow, that is using a lot of pressure. Woo! Wow, that's crazy. It got it though. All right, now we're gonna switch gears to pulling mode. I'm gonna put the pulling jigs in that we just repaired, and we're gonna start pulling this stuff, man. I want to see. I'm hoping I don't have to change the position, or I should be able to get all of this what we're set up on now. I'm surprised this thing is holding up the way it is. I don't know if this thing was designed for a 100-ton cylinder, but we're putting the beans to it, man. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this thing set up, the pull. Moment of truth. Uh-oh. I should pull out of that. Hydraulics are a little cold. Okay, not too bad of a start. Let's try one of those things we just split. This is what happened last time. It's a cooker. Have to get that incinerator fired up. That's beautiful. Hey man, that's like Christmas. Look at that. That's heavy too, man. That's got some weight to it. This one got all kinds of stragglers. Okay. I think it's about my lunchtime. Do a couple more. See if I had more stroke. I gotta go pick up my other cylinder tomorrow, man. Nice. Oh, I've been having that problem lately, where the whole thing comes with it. It's kind of annoying. Not that big of a deal. Comes right off. Okay, I am going to go eat lunch. We're finally putting copper in the bucket. Took long enough. Sorted out a bunch of stuff. I gotta find my whiteboards that I used to have in my office. I need to start putting things on the list of, like, we need to start one thing at a time. And I need to start gathering the steel up, because once I start building, man, I'm going to be in fabrication mode. And we are going to make the 3 stations. This will be the do-it-all, cracker, splitter, everything. But it'll basically be dedicated to cracking and or splitting. I don't know. But we're going to have the flow. It's going to, none of this back and forth stuff. Once I do one process, it's got to go down to the next station. My transformers, they had a flow. They came in on this end right here. I could stack about 2 tons or a ton, 2,000 pounds up on the end of that table and run it right out the other side, man. I had a flow, okay? And we are going to do the same thing with these. It's not going to be as profitable per one, but we are going to start pulling massive amounts of copper fast, you know? I mean, if you can't afford or can't build a whole setup, what I'm doing right here works. I mean, we're splitting them, we're pulling it, we're cracking it, you know? But with the motors, it's a little different than transformers, because you have prep. You know, that prep I got to work on. And I think a bandsaw is going to be the way to go. I'm even thinking a bandsaw for the little nuts that I was unscrewing to get them aluminum end caps off. I don't know, but there's definitely some thought process that needs to be worked out right there. Or I have to finish. See, there's one more aspect to this whole setup that I haven't shown you guys yet. I might not even need to do that. You know, the way that this thing is going to work, this will still be a first operation, cracker splitter, and one more operation. It's going to be pretty awesome once we get that dialed in. And for me to get that dialed in, I need my other cylinder back. Once I get my other cylinder back, I think that's going to be a priority. It's finishing this, finishing the prototype, right? So you can see all of the actions. Because it'll help with, I'm pretty sure it'll help with taking those small ones apart and help with cracking those things right there. We got to work on that. So anyway, I'm rambling. I'm tired. I'm a little tired and hungry. I need to take a break, eat something, and then put a lot of copper in the bucket. Okay, finally, some copper in the bucket. Now, we're going to do this live on these big boys. And I'm getting a good little rhythm going with this stuff. And I keep thinking, you know, in my mind, you know, how am I gonna make this as fast as possible? One thing that's gonna make this faster is a proper hydraulic setup. Much faster moving hydraulics and a longer stroke. Oh man, I did one of those small ones with the orange paper on it. And it was one that was really thin that I had cut. Holy crap, was that thing tough. Oh, this thing is tough. Some nice nuggets in there. Definitely got to watch your fingers, man. That 100-ton cylinder is not going to care about your fleshy little bones and skin. You're missing some digits real quick. And you have to call me the three-fingered scrapper. I am loving the speed in which this pulls. That's how fast we need to get this thing moving all the time. Forward and backwards. We got a clinger. Like Christmas. I've been thinking about my flow, how everything's going to run. And I think I got a great idea. Wow, it's kind of tough. I think that happens when you don't have it clamped right. That motor was already partially cooked. I don't think I can get any of these other ones in there. No. Okay. Ah. Nice. Big old nuggets there. Haha, nice. Maybe we can get this in there. Oh, I can't get the angle. Can't get it. That's a bunch of solid nuggets right there. Okay, let's see. Yeah, gotta come out. See, this along with the splitter should just have pins where to locate center real quick. And we could just move on to the next operation without any major setups or delays or anything. Oh, it's gonna be a tough one. Oh, gotta get that glue breaking. I mean, it don't really come through on camera. I can feel that metal stressing. Trying to get it out in one piece. I gotta break that bottom loose. I don't know if that's gonna... No. Not going to come out in one piece. one of them messy ones. That's a bunch of thick copper, I'll tell you what. Problem with this is that stand that holds it up helps me get to that bottom row. When it's sitting flat on the thing like this, I can't get to that bottom. Okay. There's just no way. We get partial crowns. Get to the bottom. Woo, man. I still have a couple more things here. Transformers. These here. I got a nice clean spot and I can show you. These, that style right there, got a nice thick plate. They basically just fall right out, really, once you have that split. Now, I don't know if it'll work like that if you don't split it. But I'll tell you what, man, that's a nice little chunk of copper right there. And I haven't found one that it didn't just kind of fall out. I don't know any other way of really getting that out other than like hitting the backside with a hammer. But oh, this is the one I need to finish cutting. But I guess we can get some of it out. Yeah, I didn't get I didn't cut this one all the way through. I should have put it back in there. Oh, these are the fun ones. Look at this. These are the ones that basically they just open up. And look at all that copper just falling out. Okay. These are weird. This is the first time I'm coming across these. Let me know if you all have seen any of these before. But the copper just taps right out. Except for that one. Just tap it out. Give it a little tappy. That one's got the copper wedged in, so obviously that's not going to come right out. There we go. A couple little strands in there, no problem. Clean. And got a nice big old pile of copper. Look at that. Oh, we got more right here. More tappers. This one actually needs to be cut. I bet you if I cut that with the cutters, probably come right out. Yep. It's just plastic right there. Come on, man. That's why we gotta step up our splitting game, because when this stuff is split in half, it makes things so much easier. Get all that red gold, man. Okay, and then these might come out the same. Oh, I guess it's not going to come out with the plates all holding it in. Normally I put these in like the vise or something. This top side got damaged. Here we go. Let's just do this the way I normally would do it, but we're going to do one side. Okay, so this is all the process stuff we're going to weigh up real quick. And these are the aluminum ones that are going to go back to the scrap yard as electric motors. I mean, they bought them as electric motors, sold them to me as electric motors. So I'm just going to throw them in with a bunch of other stuff and send them back. We got 40 pounds on that, unfortunately. Some people might say, oh, you're knowingly selling them aluminum windings back as electric motors. Well, here's the deal. And I used to argue with the guy at another scrap yard when I used to buy transformers from the scrap yard. They'll buy them all day long, knowing there's aluminum in the mix. They're not going to check them. They're just going to buy them, and there's hopefully enough copper ones to make it right. So I used to buy transformers from the scrap yard. Well, basically what I did is I went there and I sorted through all the transformers, and I only bought double copper transformers from him, right? Because of the price I had to pay. It wasn't worth buying the aluminum copper ones, and definitely not the double aluminums. So in his bin, there'd be tons of double aluminums and aluminum coppers. He bought them all for the same price. So I would check them. He bought them for electric motor price back then. So I would check all mine when I was out buying them. And when I would come across aluminum ones, double aluminums, I would sell them to him. And then one day he got mad at me and was like, oh, I can't be buying them from you like that. I'm like, dude, you buy them from everybody else in the public, no question asked, but you won't buy them from me because you know I check them. You know, I was like, dude, I sort your bins. I sort your aluminum ones. You send them off as transformers or electric motors or whatever he was doing, you know? And it was like, dude, how are you going to give me crap for selling you an aluminum transformer when you're buying them from the public? And you can't say you're not, because I am sorting your transformers out and only buying half of them because the other half were aluminum. I got no problem selling them back to them. At least recover something. Now I'm going to sell them back at a loss because I've already taken the case off, right? Now I will make a little bit more money on the aluminum I took off, but I'm going to lose money on the iron and aluminum. I'm only got 15 cents on that. So it is a loss buying those. Hopefully we got enough here to cover the cost. I think it was like 400 bucks, so we'll see. I'm going to go get the forks on the skid steer, and then we'll weigh this up and see where we're at. Alright, here's all the weights. Now I weighed this aluminum, and that was 42 pounds, 65 cents, 27.30. We had 40 pounds of those motors over there that I'm selling back, $14. That's at 35 cents. That's what I paid for all the stuff. Steel, 701 pounds at 7 cents, 49.07. The irony 350 at 15 cents, 52.50. And then the number 2 copper, 198 pounds, minus the drum, 162 at, I think it was 420 last time, but I believe I got 420 a pound for the number 2 copper, but I ain't been there a while. I'm just gonna say 410 to be safe. $664.20 for a total of $807.70. Now I think I paid like $450 for all this, so I pretty much about doubled my money on it because there's more stuff. We have that aluminum, and there was something else that came with it. It might still be in my truck, but I also got all these things, which, I mean, this actually weighs. Let's see here, 198, 200 basically. You know, that's almost, I guess we could say it's a pound and a half. It's almost a pound and a half there, and there's a bunch of it. Let me know if you guys ever messed with anything. It looks like there was something on here. It looks like this is like a heat sink. Tighten screws alternately something. I don't know. Anyway, that might even be stainless steel, but we're gonna see about getting that copper out of there and adding it to the pile. And I think I have another transformer that I got. There was something else I threw in there. It was in the bin, and I thought it would make a cool video. So I paid like for a couple extra things, but still, almost doubling your money on electric motors is pretty good. Those big motors, those 2 big motors, had a lot of copper in it, a lot of heavy, dense copper. And we still got a little bit more to process. So that's going to be it for this video, for this series of videos. It took me a little longer than I was expecting to process these, only because the back and forth, you know, I really need to get stations set up. I really need to plan how I'm going to mount this over there, and we need another big old sheet of steel. If I'm going to have to buy it, unfortunately I'm going to have to buy it. I'm kicking myself in the butt because when I had those 5 plates originally, 2.5 of them were mine. I was going to double stack them on this table, and I should have done that, because then they would have always been with me. But, you know, you live and you learn. You can't trust everybody. Stay tuned, because I'm going to actually go pick up those machines, bring them over here. I need to get them out of here, break them down, and we're going to do some cleaning up, man. We got a lot of heavy stuff here to pick up and get out of here. Hopefully there's a big motor and probably 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller motors. I don't know if I'm going to process them all, but we'll find out. We're definitely going to get into some of this copper up here. Maybe we might even clean the bench off. It'd be nice to see a nice clean bench, you know. That's a rare sight. That's almost like finding the Loch Ness Monster, which I just seen a thing on your Facebook or Instagram. Someone did some sonars, and they're saying that they found some weird anomaly down there that looked like the Loch Ness Monster. Who knows? Probably more stuff to put out there to confuse people and, you know, keep the conspiracy alive. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard.
danced before?